Hello, good evening and welcome to the FB4 Daily. This show is brought to you by Paddy Power, a website, a bookies and an app. And if you gamble, please do so responsibly and do so with Paddy Power. Sorry, I've one eye on this football that's still going on. Tonight I'm joined by a familiar face to our subscribers, Chris Brack. Chris, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Good. No complaints. It's good to have you on as usual, and we're also joined by Callum Sanderson from Kopish YouTube channel. Callum, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Absolute pleasure to be here. Cheers, guys.
No problem at all. Callum was on with us last week where we rated and ranked our managers in the league, and it was an interesting show to say the least. It was an enjoyable show. Yes. We may have given too much credit to the Daniel Farkas of this world, but who knows? You live and learn. So, we're just going to tonight. We're just going to go through, as everyone knows, the football has come back. We're on the second round of games, second evening of games tonight, and we're just going to have a quick chat on how the lads felt the games have gone so far as a whole, about the intensity of the games and things like that. And then we're going to move on and talk about the Merseyside derby, the big one. So, if anyone's in the chat, welcome. We've got Alex McLeod is in here, and it's over the years, it's first time he's had the chance to come on here and talk live. So we get him through work. Thanks for that. Look, it's great to have you, Alex, and we're delighted that we get you through work. We all know that feeling. That's how I spend my day in work. I hope my boss isn't listening, but he won't be because he's a Man United fan, so I'm all right on that. Lads, Callum, how have you found the football since it's come back?
I'm a bit of a sucker for football, so I kind of would just take it anyway it comes. Well, I should probably rephrase how I just said that, actually. Let's just say I'm just happy the football's back. I've missed it. So obviously the first game I actually got to watch was, I watched a bit of the Aston Villa and Sheffield United game. Sheffield United were robbed.
Oh.
I have no idea how that. I mean, even without VAR, you see that's over the line. Stevie Wonder could see that was a goal. So I don't understand how that wasn't given. And then obviously I watched the Arsenal Man City game. Looking at Man City play in the first 20 minutes, they looked really, really sloppy. And I was thinking to myself, wow, if Man City look like this, I wonder how the rest of the teams are going to look, because obviously they're known for their passing ability, their fluidity on and off the ball. And I mean, when I was seeing David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne misplaced passes, simple passes, I was thinking, okay, there's going to be a bit of a bedding in period here. But once they settled into the game, you could see their rhythm was coming back. And obviously they had way too much for Arsenal. And then obviously Arsenal making the substitution, bringing David Luiz on, pretty much put the nail in the coffin. But I'm so happy the games are back. I didn't catch the Norwich game because I had work and then I was recording, and then been watching the Man U and Tottenham game. So I'm just happy it's back. I quite like the crowd noises. I'm a fan of the crowd noises, but I was also a fan without the crowd noises as well. I do like the purity of football. It kind of made me feel like I was back at Power League when the German league came back and there was no crowd noise. You could hear man on. It just made me feel like it's back at grassroots. But I'm loving it.
Isn't it? That's exactly it. It's like you're down the park watching a game of football. It's brilliant if you think about that. But in saying that, I had to put the crowd noises on as well, because I'm like, it's good. It's a bit niche and a bit novel, but that'll do. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want it on for too long. So, Chris, what about yourself? How have you found the football since it's come back?
Well, some things don't change. Chippy Tits John Moss is the shittest referee I've ever seen in my life. He's just pointed to a penalty for Man United. Luckily, VAR's overturned it. Fernandez falls over. No one with any
jumped into Dyer there. I was looking at him myself, didn't he? It was
it's good.
It took him a good 2 minutes to bleed and check that as well. Done their best to give it.
Some shite football just never changes. Now, I'm a bit like Callum. I'm pleased it's back because it's not much else I can talk about. So I enjoy me football. I don't really care who plays. I enjoy Premier League football. I love watching the playoffs. So I just enjoy watching football because I was never very good at it. So I always enjoy watching it just to learn about it. So that's good. Crowd noise, I'm a bit and ahhing about it because I actually preferred it when the Bundesliga had it. Sounds weird, but the Bundesliga one sounded a bit more realistic. But it's much better than the VAR. And see the Italian Cup final, the Napoli-Juventus game, with the CGI crowd from France '98 or something. It was really. It was the funniest thing I've seen in my life. But no, I've enjoyed it back. I've seen most of the games so far. They've all just started very slow, bit pre-season-y, which is to be expected. They haven't played for 3 months. And City, I think, have probably shown the way a little bit, which is just keep the ball, keep it simple, and just shoot 20-minute bursts. And they just a couple of quick passing bursts, and they were in, and they were done. And Luiz, I'd probably say that's the worst substitute performance I think I've ever seen. 23 minutes, give away the first goal, give a penalty away, and get sent off. And ironically, when you watch Arsenal fans, that penalty he gave away against City, he did the same against us. He did the same against Chelsea, and he's had 2 red cards. It's just like it's like just like control, copy and paste. You just know what he's going to do.
Yeah, it is.
But if he don't extend his contract, that's his last game. That's officially his last game for Arsenal, which is it's leaving an impression when you go.
Yeah, true. What do you make of Luiz, Callum? Are you a fan?
I'm a fan because he doesn't play for us.
Comedy value is excellent.
Yeah, it's calamity. I mean, people were comparing Lovren to Luiz, and don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying I'm Lovren's biggest fan. I respect him because he always gives 100%. He may not be the greatest in terms of quality, but I respect his tenacity and his effort. But the disrespect to compare Lovren to David Luiz, I'm sorry. He gets worse and worse every time I see him. And what's funny is he never gave away a penalty for Chelsea in his last season, and with Arsenal in his first season, he gave away 4. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And every time he's out of position, it's poor.
He's better in a 3. He's one of those players. He's better as a 3. I mean, they're different players, but I'm a bit like that with Connor Cody, who plays for Wolves. He's a much better player, much better. But I could not see Connor Cody playing centre back in a flat.
In a 2, exactly.
Yeah,
in a 3, it suits him because it emphasises his strengths, which is his positional play and his passing, which is really good. I think he'd be exposed as a 2. I think Luiz is that. I mean, the other thing with Luiz is he's just got no concentration span. He switches off. He always switches off. And the thing is that everyone gives Love a lot of stick, but he's 4th choice. He was 3rd choice when we bought him, and we've slowly downgraded him to 3rd choice. Look, where everyone's fit, Luiz is 1st choice. Yeah, that's the difference.
If he's not he's in the mix to be 4th choice, and that's one of the biggest problems Arsenal have is they've got all these centre backs to fix a problem, and none of them are the type of centre backs to fix the problem. They've got Socrates, who's meant to be this big leader and hasn't been. They've got Luiz, who's just been a calamity. They've got younger guys like Holding. They've got Mustafi. They just an absolute rabble. They are, aren't they?
I bet you now though in the summer. Whatever money they've spent, say they spent 40-50 million, they'll buy another winger.
Yeah.
And they'll buy anybody for centre back, and you'd be like, I mean, Pepe, 72 million sat on the bench. You're losing to City. Throw him on.
Pepe, Lacazette was 50 million. Lacazette was 50 million. Was on the bench.
But I've not probably been on the bench. But it's more the fact when 20 minutes to go, throw the guy with pace, because one thing defenders don't want, especially not play for 3 months, is somebody fast running at them. It's basic football, but nobody likes it. Nobody wants a fast lad running at them because you're bound to make a mistake.
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't matter what level you're playing at. If someone's running at you and they have pace, you're not going to be too happy about that, But it brings me on to something actually that I don't know if you were talking about this on your own show earlier, Callum, about Chelsea. I tuned in for a few minutes and I know you were discussing Werner and the impact of Timo Werner going to Chelsea and about how, they'll sign, and if it wasn't yourselves, it's a good point, so we'll talk about it here. They're signing all these attacking players and they're not addressing the issues that they have at the back.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I look at Chelsea's team and you've got Pulisic, you've got Hudson-Odoi, you've got Willian, you've got Ziyech, you've got Pedro. All of these players can play as wingers, and you've obviously got Tammy Abraham and Giroud. So even though they may not have the same quality as, say, a Liverpool or a Man City, they've got numbers there. And on their day, that any combination of that front three can do damage to most teams in the Prem. But then you look at their defence, Azpilicueta, as much of a legend he is, he's not a right back that is going to be productive in today's game. Reece James, as much as people want to try and compare him to Trent, he's not on that level. He's just not. He's a young right back. Yeah. Marcus Alonso, again, going forward, excellent. Defensively, is absolutely terrible. Palmieri, again, he doesn't do much of anything very well. Rudiger's a very good defender, but always injured. Yeah. Christensen, very inconsistent. Zuma on his day, great, but very inconsistent. But yet you've gone to spend 50 million on a striker. It's almost like Abramovich has said, okay, right, I just need a marquee signing. Let's just go and pinch this guy, and that will appease everyone. But it will work for maybe the first 5-10 games. But when teams start attacking you, what are you going to come back with? And I look at Chelsea and I think, yep, they've strengthened. But as a Liverpool fan, I think to myself, we play them, we still run through them because defensively they haven't got a chance.
Exactly, yeah, and that's people lose their head, don't they, over, missing out on a player like Werner. And look, we all like a new signing, we all like the unveiling and all this, but just because it wasn't Werner and the talks that there's not going to be, they didn't want to spend the money on Werner and all, we take all that with a pinch of salt, because if we've learned that about Liverpool, it's a lot of the stuff doesn't get leaked anymore, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us go for someone, but maybe not, spending a package worth 100 and something million on a player that's not going to be a first 11 regular, so it might open up other positions. Now, we're not going to sign Kai Havertz, for example, but if they could get Kai Havertz and they said, right, I think Havertz could play in the midfield 3 and will be Genie's replacement, the overall package will be this, I think they'd pull the trigger on that. They'd sanction it if it was available and it came to them, whereas Werner was always going to be one he'll cover the front 3, but it's a lot of money to cover the front 3, isn't it? So
yeah, I'm split with this one, because the way I look at it, our main competition is Man City. Well, dare I say it, and again, I hope this doesn't come across arrogant, but our only competition in the league is Man City.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, we ain't going to spend the sort of money they are, because, well, we're not running an illegal football team, which is what they've effectively been doing. But you look at their bench and you look at some of their players and you think, right, we have got to try and compete with them some way, shape or form. And my worry with Liverpool has always been, if you lose Alisson, Van Dijk, Mane or Salah, how well do we survive? Because I think midfield, we're absolutely stacked in midfield, and the options we have in midfield are absolutely brilliant. We may not have that one standout superstar name, but any 3 you place together, they're fantastic, and they do so much work to allow the rest of the team to facilitate their strengths. The same with Robbo as well. I worry if Robbo gets an injury, who comes in to replace him, because our creativity comes from our fullback. So, but again, if you're Klopp, it's a gift and a curse, because you've got the best players in the world, but at the same time, how do you go and tell another left back, oh, come in, but you're not going to play regularly because you're behind the best left back in Europe in football at the moment?
It's a hard sell. It's
very difficult. Yeah.
So Morbid Angel is better than death agrees that Chelsea don't worry him either, which is, echoing what we've just said there. Alex has said they're a million miles away. As we've said, their defence and the goalkeeper situation, I see they're being linked with Dean Henderson now. They've been linked with 60 million mil for Dean Henderson. 60 million.
You watching me on the transfer show? Should have done my transfer show. I got the cheap keeper.
There you go. Yeah.
I got a Berkey. I said I should get a Berkey from Dortmund.
Yeah,
but
no,
I do think
the
keeper will go.
with that. Yeah, but they'll get rid of him. They'll get rid of what they pay for him, 75 million or something for Kepa.
They're more than Alisson. It was a big figure. Chelsea feel like they might be at the moment. They look like 13-14 Liverpool.
Yeah.
Great going forward, shaky at the back.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That'll get you top 4. That'll get you a good cup run. It may get you a league, it may not. It took us 30 years to finally get the balance right. So,
they're 6 months away from being a year away, aren't they? They're not quite, it's like they're getting there to make a charge for it, but they're not, exactly there.
I don't agree. But I don't agree they're a million miles away, because the 2 games we've played is the Super Cup and the Stamford Bridge games. they were tight games. And that's without a Werner and without a Ziyech. They were playing like Giroud up front, who, like him or loathe him, he always does well against us. And Azbanega, no one does well against us. So
yeah, but they got Kante out for his only 2 games of the season as well to play against us. So
that's and they haven't had him most of the season, which is it's a big blow. Us lose. It's like us losing Van Dijk. We've seen with City, they lose Laporte, they're in a lot of trouble. I do think that masks the fact that they didn't recruit a company replacement. I think that's the biggest thing City never did.
Crazy.
They needed someone who was better than Callum. So for us, we're never going to get someone as good as Van Dijk. We're not.
No.
What we probably need to have someone who's on par with Gomez or is slightly better than Matip. If we got someone like that and say Lovren left, yes, if you lose Van Dijk, it's a big blow. But if you have someone who's on a Gomez slightly better than Matip level, the drop off is still there, but it's not sort of like, oh Jesus Christ, we're playing defensive 3 or 4 years ago. I do think left back's a bigger concern, I think, than centre back. But who wants to play 20 season?
I don't know if you have heard anything on this, but I see and I wasn't agreeing with this idea, but I'm coming around to the idea of it. Your man off Bournemouth, Ryan Fraser, is not going to be playing again for them because he's moving on in the summer. We all knew he was going to be moving on.
Yeah.
Could you see someone like him coming in as a left back cover? Because Klopp down the years at Dortmund, he done it as well. He converts wingers into fullbacks. It's what he does. It could be an option, and maybe that could be an interesting one, because you will get delivery from him if they could work on the defensive side.
The other room I saw was Ward-Prowse.
I'd love Ward-Prowse, as a right back,
but as a fullback. Now, maybe he's not a left back, but
no, I suggest
he could still do something like that. It's the way the game's going a little bit, they do the way we play. We like to play with very attacking fullbacks. We very rarely are defending unless we're playing something like a City or a United or a Chelsea where we're under the cosh a bit more. So, and the good thing for Upton is it is going to do in the world of good to have a rest now and again.
Oh yeah. It's not a bad thing, It's one criticism maybe of Klopp. Not criticism. I don't criticize Klopp. He knows what he's doing more than I do. I'm having a stinker of a season on Football Manager with Newell's old boys, so my managerial credentials isn't backing up at all. But maybe the lack of rotation, not the lack of options. In games where we're even winning, you could maybe bring in a Shaqiri or. Jones, if you're 3-0 up and the game is dead and he doesn't sort of blow them in, and you'd like to think that that would work, but look, he knows more than we do, so I'm not going to tell him how to do his job. You know what I mean? I'm not that stupid. Graham Doyle has put a comment in here. How many teams have 2 forwards scoring 20 plus goals a season? So I'm not bothered about not getting Werner. And it's a very good point. And another point I wanted to make about Werner, which is why we've moved on to this, and it's going to tie in with one of the other games today. Danny Ings has scored something like 16 goals for Southampton this season. He is phenomenal for them. Is 16 goals in 20? It's not as good as Timo Werner's ratio. I think Danny Ings has got a goal one goal every 130 minutes, and Timo Werner has a goal every 102 minutes. But you'd say he's in a harder league and he's in a struggling side. Now, that to me is a centre forward. 40 million maybe centre forward if you want to try and buy him now, throw the English tax on him and all that. He couldn't get on our bench. So it's not easy to fill that position. People think, we should have bought Werner. Someone made a comment on Twitter to me yesterday about, what Man City would just do and would have, look at their bench, they have Mahrez and Mane, Sané.
They have 2 strikers.
But they're happy, as someone pointed out. Like, how is Mahrez happy? Because he's earning more to sit on their bench than our highest earner is for playing. So money talks for a lot of them teams. You can't compare how Liverpool do it to how the others do, especially Man City.
The only thing with the Ings situation is, I think what goes against, which is probably why you'd go for a Werner over Ings, is his age. And he's not slow, but he's certainly not as rapid as Werner is.
Yeah.
And the big thing for him is his injury records. Main reason he didn't get a run at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I think the reason he's playing so, I've seen a lot saying we should have kept him and got rid of Origi. And I see the point because of the goals he scored. The reason he's scoring so many goals is because he's playing regularly.
Exactly.
And because of his knee injuries, he needs a rhythm. He needs to play a lot. Origi's younger, and in fairness to him, he actually seems to be better suited to be a sub. He's not. Yeah. I mean, this is where I'd like another attacker in, because I'd like someone who is more of a natural starter. For me, I'd keep Origi as long as you understood he's solely a bench player and a cup player. That's all. That's his role. Is you're coming off to create a bit of madness for the last 20 minutes and nick as a goal, or you're going to start in the cup games. That is your role. If you're happy with that, which I think Klopp's probably told him that's what his role is, so be it. But then if we bought someone like a Werner, it would be one of four would start and Origi's your bench option. And I think that's and that to me would be enough. But maybe, I mean, there is talk, maybe Minamino is the.
Well, that's it. He's the forgotten man, isn't he? He is the forgotten option.
Stephen
O'Connor puts a point. Sorry, go ahead, Callum. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, reports have come out saying that Minamino's looked quite sharp as well. Yeah. I was going to follow up on your Ryan Fraser question as well. We had the pleasure of having David Lynch on our channel last night, and we actually put the name Ryan Fraser to him, and he completely shut it down.
Yeah. So Spurs or Arsenal, I'd say he'll end up with.
Yeah, but it's going to be difficult finding players. But I agree with you, Chris. I would like to see another forward of some sort come in, but I do want us to keep Origi as well.
There, Stephen O'Connor threw in the chat there about the AFCON being a major concern, losing both the goal threats without adequate cover could derail our season. We say that all the time, but I think
it's been moved to the summer now, isn't it?
Has it been moved? Because it came out yesterday that it wasn't.
Oh, right, okay. Last time I read it was muted. They were going to move it because they thought no one's going to use it. There's no guarantee it'll still be safe.
Yeah, no, they were. That was the talk. It was going to get moved, but it came out yesterday that they're still trying to get it on in January. So that will be a concern if it goes ahead. But I think Liverpool, will plan accordingly to that. Now, if the threat of that is there, I think they'll bring in an option, or they'll look at what they have, and they'll say, "Look, we've got Minamino, Firmino, and throw in Elliott or another Jones, exactly." And you might be able to get around it that way.
I do wonder once we've secured the league, if there's plenty of games left, hopefully there is, does he then try something a bit different? Does he try? I know people get obsessed with formations, but does he try like 4-2-3-1? Does he try a 4-4-2, but as a diamond? With Minamino at a tip with like a Salamani up front. Just something a bit different, because if it doesn't work, we can bring 5 subs in anyway. But it's a competitive game, but the points aren't riding on it as much as he'd like to get the points total. This may be the best time for us to check it, because realistically, when the season finishes, we've only got a month and a half off, and then we're back. And if you're City and you get to the Champions League final, you've probably got 2 weeks off. So he's got to treat this almost like this is next season prep more than once the title's secured.
Yeah. The Heat Newlands just put a comment in there about Gav deep into golf practice tonight. Gav refuses to do Friday night's Heat because he sits at home and watches the Late Late Show and other crap TV that comes on. So he says Fridays are not for him. So he has a night off, a well-earned night off tonight. So we won't hold him up on that one. David Wall just put in about no League Cup games next season could stunt the youngsters. What do you make of that? The news that the top 7 teams, I think, are going to be exempt from League Cup.
We do that anyway.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't think it's
we've been doing that. We've been doing that ever since Klopp came, which is just play all the 17-year-olds. So it'd be no difference. Yeah, it's a good idea because it. I think it's a good idea because it saves you. Sorry, I think it's a good idea because you've got to reduce the game. So if the season's going to be crammed together, it's just if they're going to play the kids, just price it accordingly and be honest up front. We're going to play solely kids in this competition until we get to semis. If we get to semis, that's it. It's ironic because we asked for help with this with the World Club Championships, and we all got lambasted for playing kids. We all got lambasted for how embarrassing letting your kids get beat 5-0. We don't care about this tournament. You go, well, this tournament we're in has been in place since. I mean, to the FA and the EFL, you've known since the first week in May that either Liverpool or Tottenham will be in this World Club Championship, and there will be a clash. And you didn't bother changing it.
Exactly. It's just ridiculous planning.
Yeah, I'm quite glad because Klopp's so secure in his role. He's been able to call out if you know to go, right, I'll play with the kids. Let Shrewsbury think, I've got a 2-week break. We'll replay middle of 2-week break. I'll just play your kids then. I'm not even going to be there.
Yeah.
Man, and you know, and unfortunately, to put the media, they went with the hysteria of, isn't it disrespectfully going, well, he's making a bigger point about players getting injured, and guess what? A year later, we need to drop the League Cup because players might get injured. Shock.
And I see Shrewsbury done a statement the other day about their season, and they threw in about how, you know, Klopp and Liverpool cost them millions, lucrative TV deal and all this sort of stuff. You know, it's so sour grapes. You know, they jump and trying to grab the low hanging fruit there, aren't they? And it's just
if your financial model is based on we have to get a replay against a big club, your financial model is
and get walloped by the Liverpool first team rather than have a go at the kids. You know,
You know,
speaking of minnows, let's move on to Everton.
Excellent.
Right.
Great segue.
Do you like that? So we've got the Merseyside derby on Sunday, lads. It's going to be a different Merseyside derby. In fact, lads, before we go on, I just want to say, if anyone, I'm looking at the comments tonight, and it's great, they're all flying in, and I'm brutal at checking the comments, so, you know, I'm doing my best here, but I'm noticing that it's all on YouTube, which is wonderful, by the way, which is great, but I don't know if there's an issue with Periscope, but we do seem to have sort of intermittent problems with Periscope, and the chats don't always be up. So anyone that listens to us on Periscope, look, we're not going to tell you which way to listen, but if you can, switch over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. You'll get all the shows, and there won't be any problems there or anything. So I don't know if there's an issue tonight. We're not getting any comments in, or whether everyone is just migrated over, but just in case, if we can, you know, bear that in mind going forward, that'd be great. So sorry, lads, back to the Ev. Callum, how do you rate our chances against these on Sunday? Or what are you weary about it? Are you worried? How are you feeling?
No, again, it's probably going to come across really arrogant, but this is the most calm I've been before a Merseyside derby at Goodison Park for a long time. Yeah. I think the fact that there's no fans there strips everything away. It's 11v11. You haven't got the atmosphere of the crowd getting on the ref's back, because let's face it, in the past couple of seasons, the ref has given them some favourable decisions at Goodison Park that sort of interrupted the game, etc. There's going to be none of that. It's going to be who's got the better 11, who's got the better team. And you only have to look at the league table. You only have to look at history. You only have to look at the quality of our players. If our players play anywhere close to 100%, we could absolutely batter these lot. And I get Carlo Ancelotti's a fantastic manager and a manager I'll always respect, but he hasn't had enough time, in my opinion, with these players. He's not been able to put his stamp on the club. And the way we're playing, the way we play, if we hit any sort of heights, we could give these guys a real rolling over, in my opinion. So I'm fully confident.
Confident enough. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm fairly. I mean, I hate derbies. I've always hated them. Even though our record on them is brilliant lately. The game I want to get out of the way, because once it's over, I'm normally quite all right. I sort of feel like at the moment is looking at their injury list. You'd like, if this wasn't a COVID situation, you'd say Liverpool, get at these quick, hard, first 20, 30 minutes, show them no respect and rattle through them. But for what we've seen in the build-up of all the other games, it's slow 20 minutes, slow build up. Because I think people are feeling the feet out, and I feel like gives Everton a chance to get a bit of a base camp. So that's my only slight concern. I do think we should win. Partly because I think we've got the better side. Look at, they've got key injuries through the middle of the spine of the team, which I think is a bit of a killer for them. And I just think in these sort of games, it will sound arrogant, but I don't care. The team that has something riding on the game more will tend to find something. Will tend to find a way through. Like, we need this win to try and secure the title. Everton have an outside chance of Europe, but with the injuries now, is it enough? You know, that's why the Tottenham and the United game there was quite interesting, because they both had something riding on it, and you know, the second half was better. That's why I was quite surprised with. I'm not surprised, but that's why Norwich was really disappointing in their second half, because they need 5-6 wins to stay up out of 9. And they were so limp second half, it was untrue. So you like think Liverpool will find a way. The one thing I think is going to help us is with the 5 subs, throwing on someone like a Chamberlain, a Keita, a Minamino with 20-30 to go if you need to win it. I think that injection of pace and quality is possibly going to be the thing that sees us through, which I don't think Everton have got that level of quality on their bench because, unfortunately for them, a lot of their players are injured.
That's
so
true.
A lot of players who would have been there, a lot of players who probably would have been their bench changers are going to have to start, which then means they have to look at their academy. So
it's a good point.
I know anything can happen in a derby, but we should still do it, I would think.
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you? Kev O'Sullivan put in the chat there, Carlo probably set them up for the draw, but he simply doesn't have the caliber of player to do it. And it's a great point because, Carlo Ancelotti is one of the best managers of the last 30 years, mate. No doubt about it. He's a very good coach, but he's built that reputation up by coaching Pirlo, Seedorf, list through all the players he's had. Kaká, you got players at PSG, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. He hasn't been working with Mason Holgate, and no disrespect to Mason Holgate or Gylfi Sigurdsson or Dominic, what's his name, Calvert-Lewin, Pony, Muck. They're not good enough, and they're not the quality or caliber of player that Carlo Ancelotti has been used to. And he's never been a manager for building a team from,
he hasn't done it for a while, has he?
No, he hasn't done it for a while. From building a team up from scratch to dominate, and he could. I think he'll get them a decent team in a year or two if he sticks around. But I can't see it.
This is the first time in a while we probably faced Everton. You've looked at their manager and gone, he could do something. He could think of something creative that will take a bit of working out. The previous ones had Silva and the other ones, not expecting them, but you sort of going, I can't see them throwing a surprise that we're not going to expect. Ancelotti, with all their injuries and how poor some of their players are, has the ability and has the skill to throw something out there. Now it's whether the players are good enough to implement it. It's whether does Jordan Pickford have one of these infamous derby brain farts, which he hasn't done yet Goodison yet, but when he gets he's one of those guys that he's got the Joe Hart's about him. Is he gets too pumped up for a game, and he's so pumped up that he forgets what he's doing, and that's his big issue. He almost likes to take a Valium before the game, just calm down, and then he'll be all right.
Graham throws in the chat there about Everton flying out with the traps in the first 20 minutes like madmen, but will run out of gas. Do you think the lack of crowd at Goodison will have an impact on how they even start the game, Callum? Do you think, the fact that there's not going to be a crowd in there, and that's usually the only thing that nearly gives them the advantage, is having that crowd there, all them savages in the crowd doing, booing and pushing down walls and all this sort of carry on. Like, are they going to miss that, or will their sound effects just be a load of boos and murderers and all these sort of things, that you usually get at Goodison, and their videos with the fans will just be all their fans doing pushing things, that's just to get the players up to it, because I think they're going to look. I've said all along, I think the technical teams are going to whip the lesser teams, and I think this is going to be a prime example. What do you think, Callum?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I can't, and again, it's going to sound arrogant, I can't see how and where they beat us. Right, defensively, we're a lot stronger. I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin versus Van Dijk and Gomez, I've got them two just shutting him out.
Yeah.
Midfield-wise, like, who have they got in midfield that's going to rival any midfield three we play? I think this is the worst possible time for them to play us. I mean, them not having a crowd, I think, plays into our hands just brilliantly. And as you said about Pickford, for example, he's going to now be in a position where he's going to pump himself up, but who's he pumping himself up for? Is he doing it for the crowd? Who's he doing it for now? And he has got a mistake in him every time I watch him play. And I just think Everton, I mean, I think they're either going to come out extremely cautious or extremely gung-ho. I don't think there's going to be any in between. However, either way, I think we control the game. And I do see us getting the goal or the first goal within the first 30 minutes. And I see us running out clear winners. I don't think they've got anything for us. And without the crowd, I think it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's definitely how it's going to go. Kev thrown in there what you make of the Richarlison comments. Don't worry, Kev, I have it on the agenda here, and we'll move on to it now. Chris, have you seen the Richarlison comments?
Yeah, I like Keith. I thought it from Kev. Sorry, I thought it from a while ago, because I thought I'd seen him say that something like that before. If he gets you up for it, mate, good luck. My thing for Everton would be the comments like that have a real habit of biting you in the arse. Now, not be funny. Klopp's record so far is play 10, won 7, drawn 3 against Everton, and I've not seen one interview yet of a Liverpool player saying we're going to smash them, we're going to do this, we're going to show them how it's done. And to be fair, even Dexy Loughlin's kept quiet, which I know everyone gets upset when he does an interview, but everyone's just concentrating on the game. And I'm a bit like, concentrate on the game, concentrate on doing it. Do you know what? Run past Van Dijk, put it top bid, win 1-0. And do you know what? Give it the big one after it. And no one will say anything. You have to take it on the chin. You're just setting yourself up. And in nice way to Richarlison, he scored a good goal at Anfield, a good header. But the derby against the kids, he had Nat Phillips putting him on his arse enough times. And Nat Phillips is bang average. He's playing German second division. We literally brought him back for a cup game and sent him back to German second division. So I'm a bit like, do it in the game first, talk afterwards. Don't build yourself up. And look, I've had years of watching Liverpool, in the 90s and the early 2000s, talk up, we're going to do this to United, this is our time, and then we get smacked 4-0. And you sat there looking at Danny Murphy and Jen and go, just shut up.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a great point, actually. It's a great point. You just don't talk about it, do it afterwards. Callum, what's your take on this? Do you think the comments are new, or because I've seen some people, Everton fans, claiming they're made up and all, but the echo and all are upon them, a few of them, even if they're from a few years back, it's naive, isn't it?
It does feel like an old one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of salt in those comments, isn't there? I mean, you're saying you dribble past him. Like, isn't that your job?
I can't remember him doing that. Did he do it? Because I'm trying to think. I don't remember him dribbling past Van Dijk.
But as an attacker, isn't that his job? His job's to dribble past people, isn't it? So you should eat, like, you've dribbled past him once and you're talking about it. We don't see Messi going on the soapbox and saying, I dribbled past Thiago Silva once. He just does it. I think Richarlison, if this is the attitude they've got, then it's fair enough. It's up to them. But he sits there and he said Liverpool aren't that great. But I mean, Champions League winners, European Super Cup, World Club Championship, 20 odd points clearing the Premiership. I think we are pretty great, and I think that's why people are talking about us, not just for the sake of it. We're breaking records left, right, and centre. We're doing stuff that other teams haven't done before. This is why people are talking about it. They're not just talking about us for the sake of it. So it just seems a bit bitter. But again, if that's what he needs to get himself pumped up, we've seen it with, Haaland did it before we played them in the Champions League. We saw how that turned out. Pickford's talked about Alisson in the past. We've seen how that's turned out. So
I love when they do it.
Learn.
It's one of my favourite things. It's one of my favourite things when you hear players, even when you go back to Man City players, we won't be intimidated playing in Anfield in the Champions League because we play there in the league and it's the exact same. And it turned out not to be the exact same. We had Good Johnson doing the same years ago with Chelsea, and now it's you love to hear them, talking, because I don't really buy into mind games, to be honest, right? With the whole Alex Ferguson thing and Kevin Keegan, I don't buy in. I think it gets overplayed. I think there's a bit in it, but I think it gets overplayed. But when you hear players saying that, you're just like, just concentrate on your own. Yeah, you're losing your focus, and that's what they're doing. That they're putting whether that's coming to them from the club and they're saying,
the thing with Charles, he's a really good player.
And he's a tough player as well.
He's got the skill, he's got the ability, and he's got the toughness that you don't want. He's got all the attributes you don't want to play against as a fullback. So show that on the pitch. Go and roof it top corner, and then, trust me, you'll get all the accolades then, and you can give it the big one after that, because everyone will go, well, he did run past Van Dijk and put it in the top corner and they won. And everyone will remember. Fair enough. Makar said a good point there. We've had a problem scoring in recent years at their place, and we have. But we spoke about this the other night when I done a show. There's been circumstances, we haven't been full strength. We haven't been. I think we played Clapham left back one of those games.
Yeah, exactly. And Solanke was up front on his own, I think, in one of them. Was he? It's.
I still think it's amazing. Ragnar Klavan at left back and we get a draw. Jesus Christ.
It's,
am I right in saying the last goal we got at Goodison was at the Mane late winner?
Yeah.
Klopp's that's only Klopp win he's had. All the others have been draws.
But again, as I said,
we've never played our strongest sides in the next two, because it's like between the Roma game or we've had another priority, which hasn't been so that doesn't help. I mean, the last game, Salah missed 2 sitters, which should have been better. Fabinho missed the sitter, so
the
last year was more
they got the
frustrating
draw that
because
cost us the league.
Yeah,
that's the highlight of that season.
Sloppy finishing. Which
exactly.
It's probably still an area that we could improve on. As great as our front three are and our attacking play is, we still have these sloppy moments, and maybe that's where the frustration with Werner comes in. Where you're thinking, maybe if we had someone like that to bring off the bench as a bit of a nick, and someone to nick it. Maybe that's the enhancement. But look, that could be Minamino, that could be Harvey Elliott, that could be Keita next year. For all we know, next year the midfield three, if we still play a three, could be Henderson, Fabinho, Keita, and Wijnaldum's a bench option.
Well, that's it, because I'm gonna.
To be fair, it's not a bad bench option to be ended up.
No, certainly isn't. It certainly isn't. Now, I've mocked Everton a bit, and they're not that bad. They're brutal. But where do we think their threat is going to come from? Callum, what do you think is the threat from Everton? Is it Richarlison, or what way do you think they're going to go at it?
I'm trying to. Is Luca Dean? Is he fit for the game?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I do rate him. I actually rate Sidibe. I do rate their fullbacks. I don't think Sidibe's as good going forward as he is defensively. I think he's very good defensively. Whereas Luca D, I think, is the opposite. He's very good going forward, but very average defending. I think if they can get the fullbacks forward, crossing the ball into Calvert-Lewin, maybe that could be a chance. But apart from that, I don't see them breaking us down the middle of the park. I mean, if we go with Fabinho, Henderson and Wijnaldum, I don't see how they don't get dominated in midfield. I think it's got to come from the fullbacks and hoping that they can get good quality deliveries in there for Calvert-Lewin to attack. Otherwise, I don't see how else they break us down.
Set pieces, they'd be playing for set pieces, I'd say, as well, getting the ball in. Dean does have a good delivery. Sigurdsson has good delivery. Chris, what about you? What do you think will be the threat from the Ev?
Yeah, I largely agree with Callum. I do think on the break, if they can get the ball to Richarlison, I think him on the break, that's what he's probably gets the best out of his assets. Walcott probably would have been the other option for them on the break, but he's out.
Yeah.
I mean, Walcott is a very erratic footballer, but the one thing he is rapid, and I think on the break, that's where maybe they can help us. I think what's killed them is they haven't got enough energy in the middle of the park. Delph has got the experience to give them that, but he's injured.
Yeah.
Shock horror again. I think the young lad who's is it Grabaran?
He's the most unlucky.
It's the most unluckiest footballer I've ever heard of. Poor lad rips his thigh, and then first day back at training, I think he's done his Achilles. But I think he's the midfielder they need, because from my blue mates I've spoken to, that's what he is. He's box to box, all sort of energy. That's what they need, probably next to a Delph or a Sigurdsson, just some legs. I just think, Davis has talent, but he's so erratic, and I don't think he's got the energy to do it.
Well, do you know what, lads?
Is not a central midfielder.
Will we try and predict the lineups, actually, now that we're sort of talking about it? So we'll go with the Liverpool lineup, right? So I think we're all going to go with Alisson in goal, And are we all thinking that our back four will be the steady back four with Trent, Virgil, Gomez, and Robbo will be the back four? I know Robbo was he missing training the other day, but he's okay.
Yeah.
Midfield, what way do you think it goes? Do you have Fabinho, Hendo, and Wijnaldum, or do you see a change in there?
I think Kate is going to start. I think Henderson. I think Henderson going to play at the base of the midfield, and I think Wijnaldum and Kate will play. I think Fabinho can be a bit of a slow start when it comes to playing after a long break. I think his quality is unmatched in our midfield. I think he's by far our best defensive midfielder, but I think he's very much a rhythm and routine player. Once he gets in the swing of things, he's brilliant. But I think this game, and where Kate has been apparently so good in training, he's bulked up a bit. He looks like a new man. He looks like he's really settled in. So I think Keita and Wijnaldum will play either side of Henderson.
And what do you think, Chris?
I had him ahead the Champions League final 3. I know what Callum means because we saw Fabinho after his injury. He never quite got back into the rhythm. But this is more like a mini pre-season, and because there's no crowd there, it's not. I don't think it's going to be quite as up and at him and scare him as it normally is at Goodison. So I just feel his experience and what he's very good at, Fabinho, probably better than Henderson, is he's good at slowing the game down when you need it to. But then he's still got this clever chip pass he can do over to the front 3. So, me personally, that's the 3 I go for. If it ends up being, Keita instead of Fabinho, it's no real loss, if you know what I mean. I think if the rumour that Salah was injured is true, then I would be saying start Keita. Because I don't think that midfield 3 works if one of the front 3 are out. I think then we need a dynamism in the midfield. Then we saw at Old Trafford that midfield 3 doesn't work if you lose a Salah or a Mane or a Fabinho. That's a good point. We lose an edge then. So if the rumours of Salah being injured are true, then you probably do have to mix it up a little bit. I mean, the pictures where he was training today, so talking he's got COVID, it's probably not true.
That was a scurrilous rumour that started in this parish recently. So you're going with the Champions League midfield, Chris? Yeah, so you're going for a Fabinho, Gini, Hendo midfield?
Yeah, I've just tried and tested in these sort of games, but if it ends up being Keita starting, I've got no qualms about that.
I have a mix of the two there because I'm going with Fabinho, Henderson, and Keita. I think Fabinho will start, but I think Keita could force his way in for Gini. A huge Gini fan. I just think he might. Keita, by all accounts, has been exceptional in training and has done well in the 2 sort of run-outs that he's had. I know one was against the other Liverpool team and the Blackburn game, but still, Klopp has been a fan of, train well and you get a chance. So that's what I think will happen. Up front, do we think Salah will play? Because I'm assuming Bobby and Mane are in all of our teams. Do we think Salah will feature, or do you see a surprise there?
I think he plays if he's fit. If Klopp thinks he's fit, he'll play him. If not, he'll probably throw in Divock Origi because he'll give Pickford flashbacks.
Yeah. What about you, Callum?
As much as I think started.
Yeah, I think Origi will start. I'll be honest. I hate seeing Origi out on the wing because I think he's so wasted out there. And it obviously means we switch Mane over to the right. And although Mane is very good there, I just feel he's adapted to being on the left-hand side so well, and the link-up play with Firmino. However, I don't think we're in a position where we have to necessarily risk players, even if they're not 100% fit. Yeah. As much as I'd love to see Salah play because he's our goal getter. If there was only a couple of points in it between us and Man City, I'd be like, it's worth the risk. We just pick up the 3 points. We take each game as it comes. I don't think we have that risk. So if Salah's fit, if he's 100% fit, he starts. But I don't know if he's 100% fit. So I'm gonna predict Origi, but hope for Salah.
Yeah, so where I am with it, I'm the exact same there. I have Bobby, Mane, and Origi playing as well because, like that, if he's not 100% fit, I wouldn't risk him. I'd be looking to get this game done and won, and then get him in for the next game on Wednesday, where we potentially will be winning the league, So, look, whatever comes of that, comes of that. Do you want to try and predict the Everton lineup, or is that just pulling names out of a hat? I mean, Little Arms Pickford, he'll be in goal, right? So he's in goal.
T-Rex.
We're going to go. Digne is going to be left back. Have you got Sidibe? I had Coleman, but I forgot about Sidibe.
I go Sidibe.
Yeah. Keane and Holgate, will it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Holgate's a good centre back. Keane's the issue for them. Their centre back partner probably should be Holgate and Mina, probably on their best 2 centre backs.
Mina's injured as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Mina's out. Walcott's out, and so is Grabanham. And I think Gomez is back though.
Yeah, Gomez is
good for
back.
them. I think it'd be Gomez, Sigurdsson, and Davis.
I forgot about Davis.
Which is, I can't think of who else they've got because I think I read Schneiderlin's out as well.
Yeah, they agreed a deal to sell him today, didn't they? To Nice, I think, have agreed a deal to take him for next season. So I wouldn't say he's going to be in favour. Callum, what do you think? Have you any ideas in the midfield there? Are they?
I think I agree with that. The only thing I'm thinking is, who's there? Do they have any other centre backs? Because I wouldn't be surprised if Carlo went for 3 at the back in this game and played Sidibe and Luka Dean as wing backs. But I don't think they have any other centre backs.
I don't think
this way, unless it's a kid. That's the only thing is unless they throw this. Where I say he might do something clever. He might throw a kid in. Like
I don't think he will in this game.
Was it? Yeah, I mean Spurs did it against us. Was it Tanganga they threw in for his
first? Tanganga,
and they just put him in a man marking job on Mane.
He did really well. They may do. That's what I'm saying. He may find someone like that in the squad who's just like, look, he's really good at man marking. Richarlison in training, he could do the job of Mane.
But the thing about Tanganga is Tanganga's a unit and he can run, like do Everton have any of them? I don't think so, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know who Everton have, I don't know what I'm saying, I don't know, I haven't a blatant clue. But from what I've read, I don't think they have many options at centre back, so it could be, I agree, a 3 at the back could be spicy and might be something that they consider, but with needs must, I can see them going with the 4. So in midfield, who do you think?
Yeah, I've got to agree with Chris. I think it's going to be Davis, Gomez, and Sigurdsson.
It's not very solid, isn't it?
No, they've never replaced Igor Gay. They just haven't replaced him, and that should have been a priority. Yeah, he's a quality footballer. He is really solidified their PSG's midfield as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Maybe they bought Aubameyang thinking he could do that, and they've just been unlucky. And now I know he's a centre back or a defensive midfielder, so maybe he was the option there. And Delph as well can do that, but has been injured as well. So you're going Sigurdsson, Gomez, and Davis. I went Sigurdsson, Gomez, and Richarlison at the tip of a 3, and I then went with, because I couldn't think of who was playing for them. I knew Walcott was injured. I have Bernard and Iwobi on the wings, and Calvert-Lewin up front.
Forgot about Iwobi.
I assumed he was injured. Is he fit?
Iwobi,
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't a clue. I'm just pulling names out of hat. You know what I mean?
I just assumed he was injured. I had Bernard, Calvert-Lewin, and I assumed he'd stick with Richarlison as 3.
Yeah. Same here. Exact same 3.
I think Bernard's an underrated player. Technically very, very good. I think the physicality he suffers with a little bit, but technical ability is really good. I mean, he was great for when he played for Shakhtar.
That's true. I mean, you could put him in against, and tell him, look, you just worry about going forward and give the Liverpool fullback something to think about and stop them going constantly on the attack. But even no matter what way we go through that, lads, I don't think they have too much that are going to really stop us. It's very sad. I'm heartbroken for them that they just don't have any options, but needs must. We just have to go in there. So where do we see this game being won or lost, and the high unlikely chances of it being lost? Chris, where's it going to be decided for you? Is it just going to be that technically we're a better team, or will there be one area that you think will do it for us?
I think it's a combination of technically we are a better team. I think the bench wins it for us. Because the 9 subs, I mean, I've had a look at 9 subs we could name: Chamberlain, Keita, Minamino, Elliott, Jones, and Origi, Milner, all on the bench, and you've still got Matip and Adrian.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you've still got Lovren, Lallana, Williams, and Carragher in reserve.
Shaqiri.
Shaqiri. I mean, I think he's
injured. He's still injured.
Unsurprisingly, he's
Lallana as well. There's
crazy.
So I think that's what's going to be the turning point for us. If we're winning, drawing, or even if we're unfortunately behind, I think having that many game changers to bring off the bench will be what we need. I mean, look, I hope we're comfortably ahead, and the last 20 minutes we can throw on Elliott and Jones and say, have some fun and have some experience in Merseyside derby where the pressure is off.
With the first team.
If I'm honest, I don't think that's going to happen because derbies at Goodison are always tight. They're always horrible. There's normally a snide tackle in there somewhere. So I think it's going to be all the first team 11, and the first teams will get brought on, the likes of Chamberlain, Keita, Matip if you need to box it off. So I think this is probably one of the games where the bench needs to win it for you.
Yeah, Callum, what about yourself? Do you see the bench having an impact, or where do you think it'll be won or lost for us?
I'm going to sound really arrogant. I don't want to.
Man. That's cool. Go for it. We're all arrogant here.
I think the game's over within 60 minutes. I really do. I mean, no crowd, Everton's lack of personnel, the fact that I think Klopp's going to really want to stamp down and make a statement, the fact I think the players are so hungry to get this title over the line because we could have had it taken away from us, even though we're 25 points, we're 22 now, but 25 points clear before. I think these players are going to have no mercy, and I think we'll have it wrapped up by 60 minutes, and then I think we'll play people like Minamino and anyone else who needs a few minutes to integrate into the team, and I think we'll be comfortable.
Yeah,
I think we'll win it by dominating in midfield. Again, our midfield is often criticised for not being the most creative, and it's not. But their sacrifice is allowing the rest of the team to thrive and do what they do best. So if that's what it takes, if you don't have a creative midfielder, but you've got two fullbacks who put up figures of 12, 13 assists each, that's 26 assists. You're not going to get one single midfielder that gives you 26 assists in one season. So it is what it is.
I'm staggered how many Liverpool fans don't understand that. And I don't mean to sound patronising when I say that, how they don't understand. But, the Liverpool midfield is a functional cog of a machine, and it allows fullbacks. If you had attacking midfielders and attacking fullbacks, you're just going to be exposed. And we're not Man City, despite what people want to say. If City can do this, why can't we? Because we're a different team. We're built a different way. We have our way, and our way is working. Them players that'll be in that midfield will be in there to run the balls off themselves, to allow the other guys to play. And I'm not saying no one's beyond criticism, but criticize if there's something to criticize. Don't criticize because you'd rather have a fantasy football sort of stuff and 10 players attacking. It's not like that, and we're never going to be like that. Certainly not under Klopp. So
and don't get me wrong, I do think an attacking midfielder could work, but it's not going to work against the top teams. You can get away with it against your Norwich and your teams like that, but against the Man City, if we went with attacking fullbacks and a number 10 and only had two midfielders who were willing to sort of track back all the time, I think we'd get ripped apart.
Yeah, it's true, and it's not as easy as it is in FIFA or any of them sort of things to do them, but people...
The exciting thing now for Liverpool fans is this will be the first time Klopp's had to do a rebuild.
Yeah.
At some point, he's at Dortmund. He always had his players ripped off him, so it wasn't really a rebuild. It was like a bit like us. We used to always lose players every summer and go, oh, God, So maybe, I don't know if it is. Maybe that's the evolution he's going to look at. Is I play this 4-3-3 because I have Mane, Firmino, Salah, so I'll play to their strengths. But eventually, they're not going to be here. So maybe then we end up playing two holders and an attacking four, and the fullbacks don't attack as much.
Exactly.
That's when he gets the players he wants. So that could be the evolution. Oh, as Callum mentioned, an attacking midfielder, maybe that is what we need against the bottom 10, 12. Because look, as great as the Villa win was, it's one of my favourite wins, beating Villa 2-1. It said to me the title, we were definitely going to do a proper title challenge this year. But I'll be honest, I would like a little bit more in those other games, a bit of creativity where we next year try and reduce the amount of 2-1s we're having, try and get the games won a bit sooner. Because at first, the City, that's the one thing, even this year when they've not been at their best, when they get a 2-0 lead quickly, it's foot on the throat, they get it to 3 and then they shut up shop.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, that's probably the next level we've got to get to, which
that's the next step.
A little bit more foot on the throat and push it on.
Yeah.
But it's City have had 10 years of practicing doing that because everyone defends against City.
Yeah,
Liverpool have only really been having that in the last couple of years where they've got used to how to play against defensive sides. So it's probably an evolution, but it's the right player when Klopp thinks he's ready to switch it.
Now, just throw a nice little comment in there with David Walsh for anyone that was watching the Spurs United game. Is Dyer the most aptly named footballer ever? Yes, David. Yes, he is. He's absolutely woeful. Before I get the lads to give me their predictions for the game, I just want to let everyone know that over the next few weeks, we're going to be doing more shows exclusively on Hotmic. If anyone listens and hasn't subscribed to Hotmic, you know, it's easy to do. Go on, sign up, and use the invitation code LFCDT, and we'll be doing shows literally that will just be exclusive to Hotmic over the starting from this week. I think we're going to have 2 shows on. So just if anyone enjoys listening to us, enjoys what we do, just sign up to the Hotmic and, you know, start getting some more shows on that going forward. Just if you know, we're not forcing them now. You don't have to, but it would be nice. We'd appreciate if you did. So lads, we've got this game now. What do you think the score is going to be? Callum, give me a prediction. Give me a scorer. Scorers, I hope.
I'm going to go 4-1. Yeah, I'm going to go 4-1. I think Virgil will get a goal from a set piece or a corner. I'm going to go with Mane to get 2. And the other goal scorer, I think I may go for a Bobby goal.
Nice. Yeah, why not? Who doesn't love that? And then who cares about Everton's goal scorer?
Yeah.
And Chris, what about you?
I think in our prediction show, I think I said 3-0. You probably got it written down. So I'll probably just stick to that, really, shouldn't I?
I don't know what's in this book.
Yeah, I think I said 3-0, so I'll say...
Yeah, you did say 3-0.
Okay, who did I say to score?
I think the Mane, Bobby, and Keita. Did you say Mane, Bobby, Keita?
I went Virgil, Mane, and Bobby.
Yeah.
But Chris, I don't know. I can't remember who you said.
I think I said Mane and Bobby, and I might have said Origi just
because it's the Ev.
Because he likes Everton. He doesn't know anything else. Just score against Everton. You know? Yeah, his record against Everton is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think I went 3-0. I keep flitting between 3-0 and 3-1, only because I think we've been away for so long. Slow start. There is the risk of being caught out, but let's go positive. Go 3-0.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tight 6-0 to Liverpool. To be honest, I think we're gonna absolutely steamroll this. I think they're brutal, and I think the good teams will just go through them. But
they got Callum. That's arrogant.
Arrogance. That's arrogant for you. And you know, I'll put myself out there. If we get beaten by them or we only win 5-0 or we win 6-1, I'll put my hand out to be slapped next week. But I'm confident that this will do it. So boys, do you think that's going to take us to Crystal Palace just before we go? Are we going to win this league next Wednesday at Anfield?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm confident myself.
I think the Palace game is going to be more horrible than the Everton game.
Do you think?
Because in a weird way, because I think for fans, it sounds weird. It becomes real then. It's like it's really going to happen. And do you know what? I think we'll all be going like jumping around, getting really overly edgy and overexcited, thinking like, you know, we have to win it today because, you know, after 30 years of waiting, I think we're all going to be a bit like, oh my god, it's real. It's still. I would say this season still boggles my head a little bit because I always thought, if Liverpool win the league ever in my lifetime that I can remember, it's going to be like the City one. It's going to be like Aguero. It's going to be like the Aguero. It's going to be something like it's going to be horrible last kick of the game. You know, last game of the season. That's what we're going to get. I wasn't expecting a 22 point lead with 9 games to go. I'm like, this is not how it's supposed to happen. This is
too easy.
Nice. It's quite nice. You know, 30 years away. I think, why didn't we do this sooner?
Exactly. But you know what? One of the things I think could benefit us is the no crowd at Anfield on Wednesday if we do need to win it. Because remember last season, on the last day, the crowd was very anxious. They heard City were behind, and then the players just sort of, when City scored, the players just...
We all knew.
Yeah, and it went out onto the pitch, you know, and I think it's the tension of going for the league, I think might have been one thing that could have maybe not scuppered us for the league, but could have delayed it by a game if there had been crowds in the stadium. But I think no crowds now. I keep saying it. The better teams in Germany and all, they're just winning. You know, if it's a better team, 2 good teams is one thing, but if it's a good team and a team that's, you know, not the elite, then I think the elite team wins all the time. So I'm confident that we're going to win it. We're going to end that 30-year wait. it's getting close now, you know, and we'll celebrate whatever way we can celebrate, but it really is getting there. Before I move on, there was a comment here. Alex McLeod, will we be doing commentary on Hotmic? Not at the moment, Alex. We're not fully used to Hotmic at the moment, so I'm just trying to sort of get a footprint in there and find out how to do it. It might be something we look at down the line. I know Gav isn't too fussed on it at all, but we may look at doing that eventually when we're more used to it, and that's why we want to nearly get into the Hotmic sort of scene as well. So we'll see what happens. So I won't keep you any later. Listen, I just want to thank the two lads. Chris, thanks very much for coming on and giving us your time on a Friday night.
No worries, mate. Cheers for having me.
No worries. Sure, what else would you be doing? Callum, thanks very much. It's a pleasure to have you again. Hopefully we'll get you on again soon. It's been great. Thank you.
No, thank you. As I said, I really appreciate it. No, you guys are brilliant, man. It's a pleasure for me to be on. Thank you.
Yeah. And anyone that's looking out, again, Callum's part of Kopish YouTube channel. So it's KOP and a little hyphen ISH,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
It's well worth going on to. They do some great stuff, great content on there.
Thank you.
Get on and give the guys a follow. It's all good to support each other. You know what I mean? Fan media at the end of the day, it's the best type of, in my opinion. And I know when Boy is sitting here in front of a camera saying it, but it's before I got involved with the Daytrippers, it was all I was interested in the last couple of years is podcasts and YouTube stuff. So it really is the best that you can get at the moment. The mainstream media has gone to shite, so you know it's good to support each other as well, and it's great to have these little crossovers getting you on. So we do appreciate you giving us this time, Callum. Thanks very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Not at all. And to everyone out there listening, thanks for joining us tonight. We've been the Fatback 4 Daily, and we are going for another evening. Good night and God bless.